U.S. CIA, hands off Bolivia! 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 U.S. CIA, hands off Bolivia no está sola, no va a un golpe, Bolivia no está sola, no va a un golpe, Bolivia no está Bolivia! 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 Bolivia!
São fascistas que estão queimando a toalha.
I'm not blocking anybody. vencido.
El pueblo unido jamás será vencido. El pueblo unido
Jamás será vencido.
El pueblo unido
Jamás será vencido.
El pueblo unido
Jamás será vencido.
El pueblo unido
Jamás será vencido.
El pueblo unido
Jamás será vencido.
El pueblo unido
Jamás será vencido.
El pueblo unido
Jamás será vencido.
El pueblo unido
Jamás será vencido.
El pueblo unido El pueblo unido
Jamás será vencido.
El pueblo unido
Evo sí, golpe no. 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 Evo sí, golpe no.
Evo sí
Golpe no.
Evo sí
Golpe no.
Evo sí
Golpe no.
Evo sí
Golpe no.
Evo sí golpe no Evo sí golpe no Evo sí
Golpe no.
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 Listen, Evo sí
Golpe no.
Evo sí
Golpe no. Arriba, abajo, golpistas al carajo. 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 Arriba, abajo, golpistas al carajo.
stand in solidarity with the people of Bolivia
To stand in solidarity with the people of Bolivia.
to say hands off to the U.S.
To say hands off to the U.S.
to say stop the lies to the corporate media
To stop the lies of the corporate media.
and to say the world is with Evo Morales.
Say the world is with Evo Morales.
We're going to take this rally to the Trump Towers
We're going to take this rally to the Trump Towers
to make it loud and clear to this administration
to make it loud and clear to this administration
that the American people
that the American people
do not stand for coups,
do not stand for coups,
do not stand for intervention,
do not stand for intervention,
and we stand with the people of Bolivia and their legitimate president.
and we stand with the people of Bolivia and their legitimate president.
We will stay on the sidewalk and march north to 57th.
We will stand on the sidewalk and march north to 57th.
Then we'll make a turn and head straight to Trump Towers,
Then we'll make a turn and head straight to Trump Towers,
where we will have a short program
where we will have a short program
and hear with organizers from different movements
and hear with organizers from different movements
on why it is our duty
for beauty.
to stand with the people of Bolivia.
Stand with the people of Bolivia.
U.S. hands up! Bolivia!
Bolivia.
So when I say U.S. hands off, y'all go Bolivia. U.S. hands up!
Bolivia.
U.S. hands up!
Bolivia.
U.S. hands up!
Bolivia.
Woo!
And Trump is there tonight. He's at Trump Tower.
The people united will never be defeated. The people united will never be defeated. The people united
will never be defeated.
The people united
Will never be defeated.
The people united
Will never be defeated.
The people united will never be defeated. The people united will never be defeated. The people united
Will never be defeated.
The people united will never be defeated. The people united will never be defeated. The people united will never be defeated. The people united will never be defeated. The people united will never be defeated. The people united will never be defeated. The people united will never be defeated.
Evo no está solo, carajo. 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 Evo no está solo, carajo.
Evo no está solo, carajo. Evo no está solo, carajo.
Evo no está solo, carajo. Evo no está solo.
Evo no está solo in Bolivia. Made in USA. Coup in Bolivia. Made in USA. Coup in Bolivia. Made in USA.
Keep it tight! Fill the gap! Keep it tight! Coup in Bolivia, made in USA! Coup in Bolivia, made in USA! Evo sí! Golpe no! 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 Golpe no! Evo sí! Golpe no! Evo sí! Evo sí! Golpe no! Evo sí! Golpe no!
Evo sí.
Golpe no!
Evo sí. Golpe no. Evo sí.
Golpe no!
Evo sí. Golpe no.
So actually, I'm about a cat.
Alerta. Alerta.
¡Alerta que camina! ¡Espada de Bolívar por
Hands up, Bolivia. Donald Trump. Hands up, Bolivia. Donald Trump. Hands up, Bolivia. Hands up, Bolivia. Hands up, Bolivia. Hands up, Bolivia. Hands up, Bolivia.
what they do every time.
I need you to repeat after me.
I don't like it either, but
We're still here. We're still here. These are our streets.
get to those numbers.
These are our streets. And we're here to stand in solidarity.
Right now.
And we're here to stand in solidarity with the people of Bolivia. And with Socialist President Evo Morales. We're going to hear from a few organizers. We're going to hear from a few organizers from all different struggles. From all different struggles. To speak on why it is so important. To speak on why it is so important. That here. And what Che Guevara called. The belly of the beast. The belly of the beast. The American Empire. The American Empire.
Give us a few seconds.
We the people are here to say, hands off Bolivia! Hands off Bolivia! Hands off Bolivia!
Now we're like a couple chickens in a cage.
Hands off Bolivia!
We either stay here.
Hands off Bolivia!
Evo sí.
Golpe no!
Golpe no.
Golpe no!
Evo sí.
Evo sí!
Golpe no.
Golpe no!
We are here on behalf of the December 12th movement.
Of the December
We stand in solidarity with Evo Morales and the people of Bolivia. We understand that no matter the tactics that are used by the United States, the goal is the same: regime change. Whether it's in Venezuela, whether they try in Cuba, whether they try in Nicaragua, or whether they try in Zimbabwe. It is not simply the United States out of Latin America, it's the United States out of people's business around the world. Donald Trump is just the most blatant example of the Monroe Doctrine on steroids. The United States wants to take the developing world back to the 18th century, a colonial world dominated by white supremacists. We stand opposed to that. We support Evo Morales taking power again. We are opposed to the golpe, the coup d'etat. That's why we say Evo sí.
Golpe no!
Evo sí.
Golpe no!
Evo sí.
Golpe no!
Evo sí.
Golpe no!
Comrades and friends, I speak to you here as a proud Bolivian American. Before he tendered his resignation, Vice President Garcia Linera said that although the coup might have succeeded for now, we'll be back and we will be millions. This flag behind me, the Huipala right here, is meant to symbolize the gains that have been made over the last 15 years by the mass government and by Evo Morales. In a country where the indigenous population were relegated to second-class citizenship throughout its entire history, the process of change initiated by Evo Morales in 2005 ushered a new era, a new socialism for Latin America. And although the imperialist death machine rolls through the soil of Latin America, we stand here in the Imperial Court to extend our solidarity with the people of Bolivia who are fighting against the right-wing U.S.-backed coup. We stand in solidarity with the people of Bolivia and with Evo Morales and with the mass government. Evo no está solo, carajo! Evo no está solo, carajo!
Evo no está solo, carajo! Evo no está solo, carajo! Evo no está solo, carajo!
¡Venceremos!
Está solo, carajo!
¡Venceremos! Thank you, everybody.
Good afternoon, everybody. Buenas tardes. Buenas tardes. Hoy estamos aquí como líderes de la comunidad latinoamericana República Dominicana. Movimiento Patria para Todos y Todas.
Nosotros vamos a leer un comunicado que traemos en nombre del Foro de Sao Paulo, de New York, capítulo Nueva York. En este foro convergemos muchos grupos sociales y partidos políticos de América Latina, partidos políticos y movimientos sociales de izquierda. Y a mucho orgullo.
¡Viva la izquierda!
¡La izquierda unida! ¡La izquierda unida!
¡El pueblo unido
Jamás será vencido. El pueblo unido jamás será vencido. El pueblo unido jamás será vencido. El pueblo unido jamás será vencido.
Disculpen, compañeros, aquí está el comunicado.
We'll never be defeated. The people united will never be defeated. The people united will never be defeated.
Okay, we're ready. Thank you.
Foro San Paulo, capítulo de New York, comunicado ante el golpe de Estado contra el presidente constitucional de República Plurinacional de Bolivia, Evo Morales. Nosotros, los partidos políticos y movimientos sociales que conformamos el Foro San Paulo, capítulo de New York, denunciamos y rechazamos categóricamente el golpe de Estado cívico, político, policial y militar contra el presidente constitucional de la República Plurinacional de Bolivia, Evo Morales, orquestado por la derecha boliviana y apoyado por el gobierno de los Estados Unidos, Donald Trump. El presidente Evo Morales ha sido uno de los mejores presidentes que ha tenido Bolivia en su historia. En los últimos 13 años redujo los niveles de pobreza, acabó con el analfabetismo y desarrolló programas sociales en bienestar de las grandes mayorías en Bolivia. Consideramos que el golpe de Estado al presidente Evo Morales es un acto de racismo por parte de los grupos reaccionarios de Bolivia por ser el primer presidente de origen indígena en ese hermano país.
Condenamos los enfrentamientos entre connacionales que ha creado la oposición boliviana, encabezada por el golpista Carlos Mesa, que ha desatado la brutal violencia en el país tras 3 semanas de enfrentamientos entre sus partidarios y sus detractores, que han dejado al menos 3 muertos y varios heridos. Ante la renuncia obligada al democráticamente electo presidente Morales, Evo Morales Ayma, responsabilizamos a Carlos Mesa y Luis Camacho de cualquier atentado a la seguridad de los compañeros militantes del movimiento MÁS, el movimiento al socialismo. Nos unimos al llamado del pueblo de Bolivia, quien se encuentra en las calles repudiando el golpe de Estado y defendiendo la democracia, y al líder de las mayorías, el presidente Evo Morales Ayma, quien el 20 de octubre de 2019 ganó las elecciones presidenciales con un margen de más de 10%. También hacemos un llamado para resguardar la libertad y la seguridad física y la vida del presidente Evo Morales Ayma, quien ha denunciado que su seguridad está en peligro, ya que existe una orden ilegal por parte del ejército y la policía vendida para su arresto, dado en la ciudad de Nueva York el 11 de noviembre de 2019. Alto a los golpes de Estado en Bolivia y en América Latina. Manos yanquis fuera de Bolivia. El pueblo bolivariano lucha y los pueblos del mundo los acompañamos. ¡Golpe no! ¡Evo sí!
Golpe no, Evo sí. 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 Golpe no, Evo sí.
Assalamu alaikum. Peace for all. It's a wonderful, really, it's a very wonderful to see this evening. We are showing that we are the people of conscience.
Yay!
We don't like any intervention to any country, smaller and bigger.
That's right.
No intervention.
But the history of United States is purely as a colonialist. I'm from Pakistan. My country is a victim of the CIA bullshit in my country.
Right.
I belong to the Palestinian. I belong to the Kashmiri. I belong to the Iraqi. I belong to the Irani. I belong to the Cuba.
That's right.
So Bolivia, Libya. So I'm just asking you, we are fully support the civil society in Bolivia and everywhere. And hands off United States, your dirty hands with the blood. That's the message is going from New York. No intervention, no occupation, end the occupation, give the rights to everybody. And in Bolivia case, the safety of the former Prime Minister, President, must be respected. And the looting must be stopped. If army cannot stop this looting, it means it's a game. So this general, he should resign. And we have solidarity with the Bolivian. Long live Bolivia! 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 And full support from the Kashmiri people who struggle against the Indian occupation. Thank you very much.
I'm Andrea Viseu from the Brazilian resistance. Yes, we can. We got Lula free. Our fight for Lula still continues. His charge needs to be dropped. But right now I'm here because Bolivia and their people need our help. What's happening in Latin America? From Zelaya in 2009 to yesterday's Evo is pure interventionism. It's old colonialism with Israel, the United States, and now Brazil as a puppet of the United States involved. I am here as someone who has fought on the streets of New York, as a taxpayer in Brazil and in New York, as a citizen of both countries, to say, hands off Bolivia, hands off Latin America, life to the global south and independence. We need to stick together and mind our own business. We need to support each other and our humanity. Lula libre and free Latin America.
Lula libre, Lula libre, Lula libre, Lula libre.
Lula libre.
Warm and militant greetings, everyone. My name is Nikki Papalayan, and I represent Bayan USA, an alliance of anti-imperialist, national democratic Filipino organizations here in the U.S. Bayan USA is the largest overseas chapter of Bayan Philippines, an alliance of over 1,000 organizations, over 2 million members around the world, and we are here to say that we stand with the indigenous and toiling masses of Bolivia in condemning the military coup of President Evo Morales. We are here to say U.S. out of everywhere, from Bolivia to the Philippines, and we are here to say that what happened in Bolivia only proves true that the working class, the toiling and exploited masses across the world are indeed a threat to U.S. imperialism, to the ruling class, and that the only solution is to continue to wage a class struggle and ensure that the most exploited and oppressed seize political power by any means necessary. Morales' movement for socialism has propelled Bolivia forward in every way. His presidency symbolized the indigenous masses, the exploited and oppressed of Bolivia's ability to exercise their political power. That is what made the paper tiger of U.S. imperialism desperately rip away that power from the Bolivian people. But during a time when mass movements are advancing across Latin America and the Caribbean, that's why U.S. imperialism has sought to intensify its onslaught in the region to gain control. And we understand in the midst of escalating fascism in the Philippines, we have had mass arrests of over 60 activists, to the dropping of a 500-pound bomb in the countryside. We've had the implementation of U.S.-backed counterinsurgency programs such as Oblang Kapandatagan, to over $500 million of U.S. military aid being pumped into the fascist U.S. Duterte regime and de facto martial law. So we as Filipinos of the National Democratic Movement Bolivia against these attempts to rip power from away from the hands of the Bolivian masses. Because we know, as the ND movement, we know that the ND movement, as it moves towards victory from the armed struggle in the countryside to the legal democratic movement in the cities, it's only through fighting for a socialist society, it is ripping the power from the greedy, desperate hands of the imperialist ruling class by any means necessary. That is the only solution to this outright fascism and U.S. intervention in our people. We recognize that our fight is part of a global fight against imperialism at home and abroad, and our enemies are exposing themselves. So we must do all the work of isolating them from power. So we can confidently say that as a people, we're not going to stomach this deception anymore, this outright fascism, this intervention. The world is watching. So as Biden USA, as a member of the International League of People's Struggle, an alliance of over 500 organizations across the world that promotes our struggles, that promotes and supports and develops anti-imperialist and democratic struggles of the people all over the world against imperialism and all reaction, we call on everyone tonight that tonight is not just a symbol of our unity, but that we continue our united efforts to defend the right of the working class, the right of the exploited and toiling masses across the world, to build a world that is truly for us. We call on all people to unite against our enemy of U.S. imperialism and the ruling class, and to continue our efforts to defend our people and the world that we are trying to build. Hands up, Bolivia! No to U.S.-backed coups from the Philippines to Bolivia. Down with the U.S. imperialism, imperialismo y baksak! ¡El pueblo unido!
Jamás será vencido. El pueblo unido jamás será vencido.
Long live international solidarity!
Long live international solidarity.
Good evening, brothers and sisters. Thank you to be here. Today is the day of solidarity with Bolivia, with the President Evo Morales, who has been an example of Latin America, who has been a leader that stands up for the people of the Bolivian and all the Latin American people. Bolivia has a lot of resources, and that's why they are behind Bolivia. Bolivia was led by Evo Morales for 13 years, and every year he has developed a better relationship with the world, and he has developed a better economic system. In Bolivia, they have education free for everybody in Bolivia. They have health free for everybody in Bolivia. But yeah, they are no good for the imperialists. They are no good because they are for the people. Rather than talking about the president of Ecuador, for example, who we don't have that type of relationship with the people right now. With Korea, we did have a good relationship with the people. We have education free, we have health free, we have roads, we have schools. But now they want to privatize everything, and they don't want to give a coup to Ecuador or Chile, for example. But yeah, in Bolivia, because they have a president that stands up for the people, they want to develop a coup. And they will be recognized by the OAS, and that organization is the one against the people. Against the whole world. So that's why people, thank you to be here and be here in solidarity with Evo Morales. And we're never going to stop being in solidarity with the people. Long live to Evo Morales. Long live to the people of Venezuela. Long live to Lula. Lula is another example that is for the people. Lula has been in jail because they don't want him to be the president of Brazil. So brothers and sisters, the struggle continues.
That's right. That's right.
We're going to be on, and we're going to be here and everywhere in
That's right.
solidarity with the people. Thank you very much.
Yay!
It's great to see everyone out here tonight.
Yay!
On this date, November 11, in 1831, they hanged Nat Turner for rising up against slavery. 50 years later, on this same date, in Chicago, they hanged the Haymarket Martyrs for fighting for the 8-hour day.
That's right.
And in 1898, in Wilmington, North Carolina, on November 10th, the Ku Klux Klan overthrew the elected black Reconstruction government, the last of the Reconstruction governments that tried to fight for the poor of the South, black and white and native. And yesterday, November 10th, 2019, they removed Evo Morales and the movement for socialism in Bolivia from office because they also fought for the poor.
That's
They
right.
overthrew the indigenous-led
That's right.
government, and they are unleashing the same kind of terror. They want to unleash the same kind of terror that they unleashed in the South against black people when they overthrew Reconstruction.
That's right.
All over Latin America, the U.S. government and its agents are trying to do what they did when they overthrew Reconstruction. They're trying to do it in Venezuela. They're trying to do it in Cuba. They're trying to do it. They've done it in
Nicaragua.
Ecuador, Brazil, Nicaragua, El Salvador, Dominican Republic, Haiti.
Yeah,
Haiti.
80.
Are we going to let them do
No.
to Latin America what they
No.
did in the South
No.
after Reconstruction? We stand with Evo Morales,
That's right.
the movement
That's
for
right.
socialism, and the indigenous-led
That's right.
struggle in Nicaragua, the plurinational republic, Bolivia, the
Yes.
plurinational republic of Bolivia, because they are fighting for the working class and poor. And it's one struggle all over the world.
Yeah.
These buildings here, like Trump Tower down there, are built off the stolen wealth of the people of Latin America,
That's
the people
right.
of Africa,
That's
the people of
right.
Asia,
That's
and
right.
the working
That's
class
right.
and oppressed right
That's
here.
right. That's
They belong to us.
That's
They belong
right.
to the people, the workers, and the rest of the world.
That's right.
So the struggle to restore democracy in Bolivia
That's
is
right.
our fight. Their victory is our victory. Their defeat is our defeat.
That's right.
And we cannot let them unleash a reign of terror against the people of Bolivia. We cannot let them overthrow the government of Venezuela. We must let them end the make them end the blockade on Cuba. We
That's
must not
right.
let them
That's
overthrow
right.
the government of Zimbabwe or Syria. It's a global struggle, and
That's
we
right.
have to come out again and again. And we need bigger mobilizations for Bolivia. Venezuela has called a mass mobilization for this Saturday.
That's right.
So everyone should stay in touch with the organizations here, Struggle La Lucha, the Answer Coalition, the People's Forum, Venezuela Rapid Response Network,
That's right. That's
the
right.
Honduran Struggle, the
That's right.
Brazilian Struggle, and say listen, so we can mobilize and bring 10 times, 100 times as many people out.
That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right.
Long live the movement for socialism!
Yeah.
The people united
Will never be defeated.
People united will never be defeated. The people united will never be defeated. The people united will never be defeated.
My name is Jessica, and I am here on behalf of the Freedom Road Socialist Organization. And we wholeheartedly support
brief statement on behalf of New York Boricua Resistance, guys. New York Boricua Resistance, in accordance with our principles of international solidarity and people's struggles around the world, condemns the military coup in Bolivia and the ouster of the democratically elected president of the Bolivian Republic, Evo Morales. We stand with the people of Bolivia and their right to sovereignty and democracy, and we further denounce any role U.S. imperialism has played in the destabilization of a sovereign country and their absolute right to self-determination. NYPR further stands with the indigenous majority in Bolivia and the working class and the Bolivian elites who wish to roll back significant gains for equality made under Morales' leadership. Hands off Bolivia, Venezuela and Cuba. Chile's right-wing government must go. Decolonization and independence in Puerto Rico must be realized. Long live the plurinational state of Bolivia. Long live a united Latin America.
It is spectacular that today, in less than 24 hours' notice, there has been this outpouring in New York, all across the U.S., and we know all across Latin America. People are in the streets, and there is resistance in Bolivia. We have to know this, even if it's not covered here in the media. What was the crime of Evo Morales and the movement for socialism in Bolivia? What was the crime? The crime was, here was a movement standing for poor and working people, for indigenous people, and that is a threat. It's a threat to U.S. imperialism, to corporate power. It is a threat, and they don't rest for a minute in their efforts to divide the movement. So every time we are united, every time we come out together, we are a slap in the face to those efforts to divide the movement. Those efforts to divide the movement here, and those efforts to divide it in every single country. In every country, they use the lies, they use sanctions, they use destabilization, hyperinflation. Every one of those actions are to divide the people, to undercut every effort to build the health care and the housing and the schools that we all know we need. Capitalism can only succeed through division. And we can only succeed through unity. That makes a huge difference. So today we're out here, it's one show of unity. We gotta know that in Bolivia, in Venezuela, in Chile, over these long, hard years, there were people who didn't give up. In Brazil, there's real changes coming that are sweeping, and it is a global force. This is a dying system. It is a dying system. We need to know this in our bones because it has no solution. No solution on any problem here or anywhere in the world or anything to do with climate, on gender, on racism, on oppression. They have no solution. They can't continue except through division. And we know, El Pueblo Unido
jamás será vencido. El pueblo unido jamás será vencido. El pueblo unido jamás será vencido.
Gracias a todos. Bueno, por un momento casi pierdo la esperanza de que ya no hay un apoyo contra el imperialismo yanquista de Norteamérica. Por un momento casi la pierdo, pero gracias a todos ustedes, compañeros de Brasil, de Puerto Rico, de mi gran patria, de República Dominicana, de Bolivia, estamos juntos y unidos para combatir contra este imperialismo yanquista, porque cada día en mi escuela, en los vecindarios, la gran mayoría de nuestros maestros, lo único que nos dicen es que el comunismo, el socialismo es malo. Eso es lo único que nos enseñan. Inclusive, ustedes ven esta camiseta que llevo ahora, el día de Halloween me la puse en la escuela, y muchos maestros me dijeron que me podían hasta arrestar por llevar una camiseta así. Me dijeron tal basofia. como ellos mencionan. Pero yo les pido a todos ustedes, compañeros, que sigan la lucha contra el imperialismo yanquista. Y como dijo nuestro gran hermano Hugo Rafael Chávez Frida, ¡váyanse al carajo, yanquis de mierda! ¡Que aquí hay un pueblo digno!
El pueblo unido
jamás será vencido.
El pueblo unido
Jamás será vencido.